So you want to find a partner for a real estate deal. My friends, you have come to the right place. My name is Kris Krohn. This is Limitless TV, and we're going to share with you what that means. In fact, I'm going to be bringing a guest on the channel that actually just made $100,000 partnering on one of her most recent deals, and we're going to show you how you can do the same. All right, my friends, today we're jumping in and we're talking about how to find partners for real estate deals, okay? We've been talking about partners a lot. If you're on the channel and you've been watching videos, you know that this is a huge buzzword, and you know what? There's no better way to do it than actually taking somebody that got a partner, did a $100,000 deal with gains, and we're gonna break it down and talk about how do you even do this whole partnering thing? So, by the way, Marianne, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, your YouTube channel and how we play together.
My name is Marianne Denellis. I run the Six Figure Mastermind channel over on YouTube. I'm so psyched to be hanging out with Kris today.
Oh yeah.
On Limitless TV. I just love like all the collaborating and all the stuff that we get to build together. And today, this is a super fun topic. And when we say partners, don't worry, it's not about this. It's not that kind of commitment. We're talking about super easy, super simple, right on contract commitments here.
So first of all, what is a partner? Let's break it down, Marianne, super basic. Real estate is going to require certain things, right? It needs someone to be able to buy a property, and if you're using a bank, then there's going to be credit. If there's a down payment, there's going to be money, and then whatever the strategy is, you need someone to do it, right? And so a partner is a person that augments or makes up the difference for what's missing. You know, let's take Marianne, for example. Let's say that she's short on funds to really do a real estate deal.
I'm short. But I was also short on funds, that's all right.
Yeah, stand up. So short on funds, also didn't have the credit to do a deal per se. And so between those two things, you might say, oh, well, I guess I can't do real estate. And yet, for you, what made up the difference was a what?
Well, that's the boat I was in. It's like, oh, maybe the door is slammed. But they said, no. Limitless said, call us for a game plan. And they opened the door. They said, did you know that you could partner? And I was like, whoa, you lost me. What does that even mean?
So here's the cool thing. In real estate, when we say a partner, here's what we normally mean. Someone that has money for a deal. Now, just think for a minute about all the people that live in your world, and let's just say for a moment you had x-ray vision and that you could actually see them financially for where they were at. We live in a world where the people on the street, the people that you meet, we all walk and talk as if we're broke or that we have very little money, and then those with money are untouchables, or they're out there, people we don't associate with. Let me give you a reality check. The people next to you on the street, they've been 20 years at their job and they've got $100,000 in a 401k. Or they haven't put any money in a 401k, but they hate debt, so they've been paying off their house. There's many Americans that are running around with $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 from 10, 20, 30 years of working, and yet they don't have money in their bank account. And so they feel poor and they don't have a plan. And they know that retirement's coming on and they're like, wow, I don't have confidence that I'm going to be able to retire, but they actually have a hidden asset that they're not thinking about. They got a 401k or an IRA or equity in their home, and that person is looking for a solution. And do you know who you are to them? You're the solution. There's a way for them to take some of those assets, I call them hidden because they don't think about them.
No, who thinks about that?
They don't get paid on them, right? Just like you had a 401k.
Oh yeah, we totally had a 401k.
And the 401k, you weren't even ever thinking about it like an asset because every month it wasn't what?
No, it wasn't doing anything for us. And I love the analogy that I heard one that says the 401k is like this sacred cow. We build this 401k up like a house, and then when we retire, we're going to take apart the house and just hope we don't run out of pieces before we die. That's what the 401k was. It's like, that's no legacy, that's nothing.
It's not only not a legacy, but it actually comes apart in usually a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 year period of time.
Right.
But you need 30 years for retirement, friends. Unfortunately, modern medicine is keeping us alive so long, maybe longer
unfortunately?
than we should. Well, I just mean it's like, yay, thanks, I retired at 65. Now I'm going to live to be 105. I got 40 more years, and I didn't plan for 40 years of living, so I'm going to have to retire on charity or my kids or the government. And trust me, that's not a whole lot. That doesn't work out. You don't want to be a stress and a burden to society. So get your act together with real estate, and whatever you're missing, you can put together with a partner. So today, for today's deal, we're really talking about the fact that these are the 3 components you need in real estate. You need a deal. You need a person that's going to take care of and execute the deal. And number 3, you need someone that has money for the deal. And so, Marianne, you were in a position where you knew you wanted to do real estate a couple of years ago. You didn't have all the resources that you needed to do it, but you brought in a partner that made up the difference. Tell me, first of all, how did you find this person?
Well, this was really fascinating because we didn't know this person face to face. And I don't even know if we'd ever passed each other on the street for that matter. But I got through the mindset of, first of all, okay, this is a possibility for me, even though I don't have $35,000 in my 401k. I think I had like $5,000 in my 401k. So I get with Limitless and I'm like, all right, you guys tell me that you can do partnerships. You guys tell me that we can bring people together. You've got a managing partner. You've got a cash partner. You've got a credit partner. I can bring some cash and I am willing to put in the elbow grease to manage the property. What do I do? And they say, you know what? We actually have a partner for you right now who doesn't want to manage the property, but they've got some cash just like you, and they're looking for a partner. I was like, wait a second, so you provide the partners too? You know people? There's other people that want to be a part of this?
And in one of our systems, we do actually provide that for people and we help people. But even if you wanted to find one organically, one of the things I love about Marianne is that she really knows how to go social. She knows how to be on Facebook and some of the other social sites to find what she's looking for. And I've seen Marianne do some of the most extraordinary things. So I'm going to put you on the spot right now and say, okay, Marianne, let's say that we didn't provide you a partner, but you wanted to do a deal and you were missing some funds. Knowing what you currently know, how would you go find someone through Facebook that might want to partner up with some money on a deal?
So I would basically be looking for people that hang out in Facebook groups that are along the interest lines of what I'm looking for. So I would go into Facebook groups that say real estate investors. I would go into Facebook groups that say looking for retirement funds or anything that's along the same lines of what I'm trying to create, wanting to retire early or a 4-hour work week, or someone that's wanting to retire and create massive wealth on a done for you basis so that they can have that residual income. And I would go in there and say, hey, I've got this thing. I need a partner. I need someone to bring in either the cash or part of the credit. Who's interested in learning more about this with me? And I would just go out there and ask simple questions and then follow up with anyone who responded.
Wow. Did you see what Marianne just did right there? Go join some groups that are into the real estate or finance game or stock market. Find those people with like-minded interests. And then you go out there and start posting. Hey, I've got a deal that I'm looking at. I've got some money. I'm looking for someone that's got the rest of the money. And all of a sudden you start participating and grabbing some of these dialogues and boom, you have a partner.
There's also another tip I want to give you. A lot of people on Facebook now, they're using this hashtag thing. Do the hashtag thing. Look on the hashtag real estate. Look at the hashtag retired. Look at all of your hashtags. When you do that, you're going to find all of the relevant posts and you've got a whole potential list of partners.
You know, there's another old school strategy. I often go old school, and old school for me is actually just sit and I'll open up my phone and I'll roll through my contracts and I'll be like, who do I know that has been holding a good steady job, probably a better than average paying job, and I'll make a list of those people and I'll call them up and I'll say, hey, I'm looking at doing a real estate deal. This deal has the ability to make X kind of returns, and I'm looking for someone that might have some money, and you came to mind. Are you interested, you know, how solid are you feeling about your real estate retirement plan? Or rather, they don't even know real estate, so I made him just say retirement plan.
Right.
And you know, a lot of people, if they're honest, will say, well, I contribute this and that, but I don't know if I have a really good plan. Like, do you have a plan at retirement to make, you know, $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month? Well, I don't really, I'm just accumulating. There's places there where you can accumulate and start that conversation. So finding partners. Now, the only way that these strategies, Facebook or going old school through your Rolodex, which is your smartphone, the only way that actually really works, if it sounds weird, like I'm 38 and I said Rolodex.
You totally use Rolodex.
I saw one of those growing up. So the only way that really works is if you also have access to deals. Because bottom line is, you're the master deal maker. You're actually taking money and real estate and marrying them together.
And that's a mindset you totally got to step into and say, you know what? I'm going to become the managing partner. I'm the one reaching out. I'm the one making calls. And even though I have no idea what the deals look like, I've got a team. I've got a whole lineup behind me that knows exactly what I need.
You know, in some of my other videos, we talk about how to find really good deals. So I want you to watch those. And if you take that video on how to find a good deal, marry it to this video on how to find a partner, then what you can do is go out there and grab a deal and then go out there and use social media, use your old school Rolodex, and go find people with the money and put them together. You know, this actually just happened with a close friend of ours, Vaughn.
Oh, yeah.
Vaughn's in my personal and private real estate community. And what was interesting is he got speaking with one of his neighbors, and what he did is he took some of the deals we were doing that he had access to, and he kept showing them to his buddy, and his buddy said, well, I got money sitting in my IRA, 401k, not doing what I want.
It's funny how that comes up, isn't it?
And all of a sudden, they're doing 2 deals right now.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so I want to give you one more piece on this whole partnering thing that I know you're going to ask about. And it's going to be, all right, I found a deal. I found someone with money. Now, how do we actually come together? First of all, when you got together, how did you guys formalize your agreement?
Well, we got together with one of our real estate coaches, and he said, okay, you guys got this part, you guys got this part. Let's draw up some paperwork and make it all work out. And I didn't have to write the paperwork. I just used the contracts that was available and basically just put our names in, put the percentages in, and then committed to whatever agreements we had put together. We would be the managing partner and so on. And once the contract was signed and sealed, we just did business.
So let me show you how simple that is. Whether it's a contract or an LLC, we've got a video on how to do LLCs. It's a super smart play because an LLC is a built-in contract. And it's just what Marianne said. It's going to define who's doing what are your roles, what is your percentage of ownership, and other than that, you now have an agreement and you guys are out the door making something happen that you couldn't do on your own. You might have seen me do this before. It's just a really simple analogy for what we're really doing is we're taking one person that has one set of assets and abilities. We're taking another person that has different abilities. You put them together and 1 + 1 = 11.
11.
Not 2, so much more because neither of you could do what you're able to do together. Real estate is a people game. It's not a property business. It's all about putting deals together. It's all about putting people together. And Marianne, now on this very specific deal, you have been able to, you got with this partner, you guys then found a house, you bought the house, you used a combination of your assets, you've been the active partner on it, which by the way, that probably hasn't been a whole lot of time, right?
And I think we changed the filter once because it was a local home.
Okay,
Yeah.
And then on their side, they've been really passive, and now 2.5 years has passed, and you guys are up how much on the house?
We're at $100,000 above our purchase price on the house right now. There's been some really cool developments around the property, and it just actually keeps climbing.
Yeah, so $100,000, when it comes time to sell that property, you're going to be getting a huge chunk of that.
Yep.
And where you started out with $5,000 in your 401k, you now have enough money without needing a partner to go buy another house.
Yep.
Or you could take that money and split it into
exactly.
multiple homes with more partners.
Because that's our game plan. We don't want to go from 1 to 1. We want to go 1 + 1 = 11. So we're going to double up as much as we can.
Yeah, awesome. Friends, I want you to comment below on this video if you have any questions. And for those of you that are thinking, wow, I think I'm ready for real estate and I totally need a partner, we have a Partner Profits program. So go ahead and click the link below where we can actually give you all the juicy details from partnering on A to Z on exactly what you need to go ahead and rock it out and make it happen. Thank you, Marianne, for being on the channel. You can find her on Six Figure Mastermind. And friends, I hope you take today's knowledge that you've gained from this video and that you put it to great use and that you use it. Come find us on Facebook. Check out some of the other places where we can meet up. In fact, if you click the link here, you and we can get live with each other. I always have some event somewhere in the world going on where we can meet up and spend time together focusing on building the right kind of mindset and giving you more powerful real estate tools.